Okay, good afternoon. So today we're going to discuss about customer service now. But before that, let me uh, have a quick summary of what we've learned last meeting. No, so last meeting we discussed about chapter 5 on communications or communicating orally. Okay, so we're able to learn about the different listening skills, uh, how to be a good listener, and then also to plan and prepare for a presentation, and of course how to deliver a presentation. Okay, so today another skills that a frontliner or a receptionist or for example if you be a legal assistant, you should have this excellent customer service skill. So it is very important for you to know uh, about customer service because almost all businesses, they all their workers employees should have a has this particular skill, no, which is customer service. Okay, so what is a customer service? It is actually the process of ensuring customer satisfaction with a product or service. So in other words, customer service is how you satisfy the clients or customers' needs or wants or whatever their expectations of your services or products. Okay, so before a client or a customer walks into your establishment to avail your services or to buy your products, they already have their expectations. Okay, and then of course, in your marketing strategies, for example, if you advertise your products and services, what they've learned and heard from those advertisements, they actually believe those things, no? So they really expect those things, pictures, for examples, whatever you've shown to you or shown to them. Then if you are like showing them a good scenery of your environment of your establishment, or example if you're promoting a beach resort, then they of course have great expectations, no? And when they go to your establishment, then that's how they will be able to test if you are really telling the truth, no? Okay, so customer service can take the form of an in-person interaction, a phone call, self-service systems, or by other means. It could be face-to-face, no? Mostly it's face-to-face. Although we've heard about customer BPOs wherein they have this customer service representatives wherein they entertain their clients through phone calls, assist them whatever their concerns are. That's through phone call customer service, no? And then customer service is an extremely important part of maintaining ongoing client relationships that are key to continuing revenue. This means that customer service plays a vital role in business, no? In order to maintain your relationship with those clients or customers, you need to satisfy them, give them the service they wanted for the products, no? So you should be able to maintain a good relationship towards your customers, okay, so that they will continue to buy your products or avail your services. So this is a key to, of course, profit or revenue. Customer contact is actually the moment of truth, no? So wherever your employees of the organization meet the customers, that is actually where the customer service uh, is, no? Okay, so when first meet us, they immediately form opinions about us and of course our organization. Those impressions include things about character, efficiency, and friendliness. They will decide in 7 seconds from 11 impressions whether they will like you, they dislike you, or they will be indifferent. So that will largely determine the satisfaction of their experience and of course yours. Okay, so what are these 11 impressions? First is cleanliness. Of course, when your customers arrive in your establishment, they'll be looking about the surroundings, no? Especially if it's a food establishment, they are very particular with cleanliness. And of course, the warm or engaging people who delivers the services. Then if or whether the company or the product is credible. And of course, the employees, if they know about their services and of course their products. Of course, when the customer comes to your establishment or your office, they will be asking a lot of questions and you should be knowledgeable on those things, no? Especially if it's about the company or your products or services. Okay, so that is why information is very important in business. Okay, and whether the employees are responsive to their concerns. Okay, and then whether they are friendly, helpful, understanding, courteous. That is why if you notice uh, or if you've tried to observe, like for example, even for a security guard, no, when you enter a building and then here comes the security guard and greets I mean the people who's coming inside, you will really feel good, no, of those courteous security guards. Okay, wherein they really greet you and then smiles at you, so that would really give a good impression. And of course, whether you are confident and professional. So these are the things the clients or customers will be looking at whenever they meet you in person. So what are the skills needed to have be able to deliver excellent customer service? You should be friendly, helpful, effective. You should know how to use nonverbal communication, no? And then good product knowledge. You should have a good listening skills. So especially if there are concerns, you should be able to listen well, no, on what really the customers wants or their concerns. Okay, so not just literally listening to what are they saying, but what is really behind those words, no? So, and then you should also be cautious and very important, you should know how to effectively handle complaints. So you should have an excellent handling skill, customer complaint handling skills. Okay, so in other words, you should be able to, or you should have a problem solving skills wherein you will be able to resolve their concerns and complaints by your own, no? So why are these skills needed? Customer-facing situation require service skills. So when customer experience go wrong, staff need to deal with the outcomes. Okay, that is why it is very important that we should be alert, knowledgeable, really know the process, the important information that your customers would probably ask, no, or uh, ask or need from you. Okay, so otherwise if you will not be able to deliver those things, then of course there will be complaints. Okay, so you should be able to meet their expectations, and of course it is also very important, no, that you should put yourself on the shoes of your clients. Okay, so if the customer comes, you should really think what they wanted, no? what why are they why are your customers there in the first place? Okay, for example, if you're in uh, food establishment, they're there because they wanted to eat, not because they are hungry. And if they wanted to eat, of course, they like food that are very tasty and, of course, delicious. Okay, so those are some expectations they had, no? Okay, so in order to meet those expectations, then as the employee of the company who represents the organization, you should be able to do your part very well. So customers regard justice is important to how their complaints are dealt with. So in other words, they are very particular on how you handle their complaints, okay? Or how you handle their concerns. So they wanted an immediate actions and fair, equitable response from you, okay? So what are the methods of delivering customer service? There are actually three, you know. Could be in a written form, like letters, faxes, emails. In other words, if you are writing a response letter asking about an inquiry from your clients, so that is actually customer service. Uh, and then very common is face to face, and of course telephone. Okay, so these are the methods how you deliver customer service. So what do customer wants from you when they are angry? So please, this one is very important. So please take note of this, and as much as possible, remember these things, especially if you are already working, no, in the future, wherein you encounter a lot of different kinds of people. So in cases there will be situations wherein your clients or customers will become angry because, of course, number one, their expectations were not met. So number one to do is, I mean to remember is, of course, they wanted to be listened carefully. Okay, so let them talk first. Whatever their concerns or problems are, you listen, and then while listening, you can really thought about things, no, or actions that you need to do in order to address those concerns. And then they wanted to also to be understood, empathize, especially in hospitals, no, wherein their family members are sick. So as much as possible, if you're an employee of the hospital, you should be concerned, and it should be shown through your face, no, and how you talk to them, because uh, clients in those hospitals are very mentally down, no, I mean they really have emotional problems because of, again, their family members, okay? And then they wanted also to be respected and valued, made to feel important. So everyone must be uh, treated as VIP, no, or very important person. You should not choose or just select who you feel or you wanted to give the treatment, but every customers, you need to re- really make them feel very important. Okay, and then they wanted also to be appreciated for their business, taken seriously, granted immediate action. So in other words, if they have concerns, they wanted a prompt action from you. Okay, and then assured the problem will not happen again. So if it's already, there's really a mistake from you, should be should apologize, no, and of course give them an assurance that it will not happen again, and of course compensated in some way. Like for example, if they bought a product from you and it's defective, then they expect that they will be, I mean, they will, you will give them a refund on those defective product, or probably replace that defective product. Okay, so these are the things that our customer wants if they are angry. No? Of course, all customers who are angry, they actually have their reasons. No, I don't know if there are customers that became irate or angry without any reason. No? So there's always the cause of their complaints. I mean, their feeling, why they get angry. So there's always a trigger point. Okay. So who should attend the customers? Of course, those people who are front lines or in the front line of the company's business, such as receptionists. So you should be a good receptionist, and you need to remember this, no? So for you to be able to be a good receptionist, you must be neat and smart in appearance, able to speak clearly, friendly and helpful, sincerely polite, able to make decisions, able to say something without offending or hurting others. So like for example, if you're an office secretary, and then here comes the customers who had an appointment with your boss, but you just learned that your boss will not be available due to an emergency reason. So in order for that client who came there early just to meet your boss, you need to really what? To handle the situations, no? So you need to make a decision, which is to tell the client that your boss is not around, but you must be able to say those things without offending or hurting the client, no? And then you must be knowledgeable about the company and its people. So, for example, if you were asked for a particular service or product, so you must know all those things, no? Or you will be asked for a direction or information about a certain department in your company. So those you should know those things, no? Again, information is knowing information about your company is very important. And of course, lastly, you must be able to talk to all sorts of people. Okay? So every day in your job, you will be able to uh, interact, talk with different kind of people, no? So you should be able to, you must be flexible and be able to interact. So you must not be shy in dealing with people. Like for example, I've noticed a lot of receptionists now that if they uh, have this customers who are foreigners, they tend to what? They tend to be shy, and sometimes they will be intimidated, no? So again, as a good receptionist, you must have this um, skills, no? Or qualities. Okay. Now, the next topic is about service quality. Of course, customer service, it deals with services. And of course, to be able to deliver excellent customer service, you need to think about the quality of your service. So how would you be able to efficiently give and effectively give your clients or customers a good service, no? Or product, okay? Depending on what type of industry you are in, okay? There are actually 5 dimensions of service quality. Uh, there's responsiveness, reliability, assurance, tangibility, and empathy. So what does these terms mean? So when you say tangibility, it is about the appearance of physical facilities, equipment, personnel, and communication materials. Okay? So In other words, you should be able to, like, if you remember those 11 impressions, first one is cleanliness. So it is actually about, deals with tangibility, no, the appearance of your facility. Or if you're in manufacturing, the equipments, the personnel, you are, I mean, whether they are courteous. So what are those physical attributes that they can see, no? So it's tangibility. Then another dimension is reliability. So this is the ability to perform the promised service, dependability, and accurately. So when you, whatever you promise to your customers, like for example in advertisement, no? So and then, or your brochure, and then you mention there, or you've written there, that this product will make your skin lighter in 2 days. Okay, so if that would be the case, then that promise would be accurate, no? So in other words, that would be achieved in 2 days. Okay, so that's being reliable, or, okay, accurate. Then next is responsiveness, so willingness to help customers and provide prompt service. Okay, again, customers, they wanted to be entertained or be, uh, I mean, they wanted to feel important, no? So never your customers, uh, I mean, go to your establishment, then you must provide prompt service. And then another dimension of service quality is about assurance. So this is the knowledge and courtesy of employees and their ability to inspire trust and confidence. Okay? So assurance is like, for example, if they're asking for a particular information and what would be the effect. Example, if they wanted to be operated, for example, no? Do you have those, those equipments? Of course, are you, whether you're expert, no? So in other words, they wanted to really feel assured, no, that they will be safe and you can be trusted. Okay. And lastly is empathy. So caring, individualized attention the firm provides its customers. Okay. So of course, if you're the customer, you will really feel, no, whether the uh, service providers are concerned uh, on you as their customers. So again, these are the 5 different dimensions of service quality. So in order to achieve an excellent quality, you should take into consideration these 5 dimensions. Okay. Another important thing in customer service is you need to be able to handle customer complaints well, no? And this is actually a skill. Okay. This is an additional skills. Uh, that is why in job advertisement, they, and especially if the position involves customer service jobs, they really uh, specify, no, that you should have a good or excellent customer handling complaints, or you should be good in handling complaints. Okay, so in other words, you have a problem solving skills. So what is a complaint? It is actually an expression of dissatisfaction made to an organization related to its products or services, or the complaint handling process itself, where a response or resolutions is explicitly or implicitly expected. Okay, so in other words, those expectations that are not met, of course, customers will be dissatisfied and make some complaints, no, on those dissatisfactions that they experience from your products or services. And of course, they wanted a response or resolution out of this or out of those dissatisfactions. Customers complain because their expectations have not been met, because they wanted to release their anger and to help improve the service. Okay. However, there are also, uh, based on this data, no, wherein there are proportion of unhappy customers, wherein generally 9 to 37% of customers may complain to the firms or company, and of course the rest never bother to complain. So why don't unhappy customers complain? They think it is not worth the time or effort because they further think that no one would be concerned about their problem or solve it, and others, they do not know where to go or what to do. However, each customer will tell at least 6 other people. That is why it is not really good if you were not able to solve the customer's concerns, no? So that is why if you're the employees who handle customers, you should target, no, that their needs and expectations are met to avoid complaints. But again, complaints are not really that bad, no, because again they would help. There's sort complaints are sort of feedbacks, no, that a company will be able to receive from their customers on how well they are doing, or there are things that they need to improve. Okay, but again, it would depend on the employees who entertains the customers on how the employee handle the complaints or the customers complaints, concerns. Okay, so here are some or most common complaints from customers. Now, number one, if they have received wrong information from you, like for example, if they're asking for the uh, example, if you are asking for an appointment for a particular doctor, and then the one who answered or gave the information, uh, they gave wrong information, no? Like for example, supposedly the clinic hours is from 1 to 3, and then they gave you 10 to 12. So that is why customers complain because of that wrong information. The next is poor customer service attitude. Okay, you should be engaging and warm to your clients. So if you have this poor customer service attitude, especially if those people or who have personal problems and they bring their problems to their office, no, they would act. It would actually reflect physically, no, in their faces, and customers will really notice. Okay, and another is overpricing, lack of adequate information, of course delays. This is again very common because they, as mentioned, they want a prompt response, prompt service. So if there will be delays, that's one of the reason why customer complains. And another one is unresponsiveness of service providers. Okay, the customers is not always right, but you've heard, no, you've heard a lot that customers are always right, but in this slide it says that the customer is not always right, but again, this is, there is the word but, no, but the customer is always the customer, and this means simply that solving the problem is often more important than who is right. So in other words, customers are always customers. All you need to do is solve the problem, because whatever you do, they are still customers. So if you can solve their problem without blaming yourself or others, you'll be able to reduce stress. Everyone will feel better. You will be on your way to attaining customer satisfaction. Okay? So don't try to think of whoever made mistakes, no, or whoever made a mistake, or who to blame to. But your goal there is to solve the problem. So stop pointing fingers. But if you're the one who interact with the customers who have concerns, your primary goal there, or your goal is to solve the customer's problem. Now, is a complaint a gift? Why? Complaints are gift packages waiting to be opened because they are, of course, given freely. They are unexpected. They come as a surprise. A complaint gives you pre-direct communication from the customer about service failures, competitors offering, etc., without the added cost of conducting a survey. So in other words, it will give you feedback, no? Whether good or bad, but it will make you think on how to improve your services. Okay? So survey is very expensive, no? But with the customer's complaint, it will give you a direct information about their experience with regards to the services you delivered, no? And of course, readily available market research. So they define what customers want. Okay? A complaint gives you the opportunity to first increase customer trust. Okay? Build long-term relationship. So the customer will use your services again if they believe that complaints are welcome and addressed. And rectify service failures. Okay? So again, complaints are not bad, but they are actually a challenge, no? And when you're receiving complaints from your customers, it actually doesn't end there, no? You still have a chance to rectify those failures. You still have a chance to impress your customers and to trust you by doing something about their complaints or their concerns, no? So if you will able to solve their problem promptly, then they will regain uh, you will be able to regain their trust, no? And of course, uh, if that will happen, then they will still continue to avail your services because they feel that they are uh, listened, no? And their concerns are being addressed. Okay? So if a customer is complaining, you are being given a chance to retain that customer. So do what 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 best you can do in order to solve their problem, in order to retain that customer. So customers needs when they complain. So needs relating to the complaint, to have their concern dealt with quickly, fairly, and properly, to be given what they have been denied and perhaps an apology, and to have action taken to rectify a problem or address a concern. Okay, so as I've mentioned, it doesn't end with a complaint. What is the important thing there is your action based on their complaint, what you did, no? After they gave or presented their concerns or complaints. Okay? And their needs as an individual, they wanted to be heard, understood, and respected. So when the customer's need is met, you automatically engage your customer as your advocate. Okay? Now again, it doesn't mean that if you had dissatisfied customer at first, then it will give you a negative impact, no? What really matters is how you address their complaints. Okay, so if you were able to address their complaints properly, and uh, then you will be uh, you will have an advocate, no? So who are those advocates? Those are person who publicly support or recommends you, someone who speaks or argues in your favor. So what are the steps for handling customer complaints? So how do you react to customer complaints about the way you do your work? So especially when you think that you are doing your best. Okay? So try to think about experiences of yours, whether you are the one complaining or you are being complained to, no? So how do you react to customers' complaints, especially about the way you do your work? So are you the kind of employee that would just ignore or get angry or be defensive? So especially when you think that you are doing your best. Okay, so in other words, you will be thinking that why are they complaining when I already did my best, no? I just follow the instructions, the procedures, so why are they complaining? So that's how would you react, no? So people react to customer complaints in different ways. So some would ignore complaints, will become defensive, become angry or annoyed, are concerned about the loss of trade or damage to their professional reputation. So these are actually negative reactions, no, from receiving complaints. So these are the things that you need to address too, because as I've said, complaints are not bad, they are actually opportunities. So for others, it is a hindrance, no? They just wish that the customer would go away, or they do not believe some or all of what the customer is complaining about. So these reactions are a result of blame being attributed to us or our organization. So in making complaints, some customers portray the following characteristics. So in other words, if your customers are complaining, you will be able to observe these characteristics, no? Or just think about yourself, no, as the customers, and then you are complaining a particular service or product. So all of us already experience to become customers, no, and then we also experience we have those bad experiences, no, with other services or products. So they lack gracious social skills to communicate properly. They're nervous, they're harsh, very emotional, lack of understanding of you or your organization's limitations, rudeness, unreasonableness. So in other words, they will really be affected emotionally, no? Especially if they are angry. So that is why you really need to be calm and do not take the matter personally, but try to listen on their concern and address whatever their concern is. Okay? So how to handle complaints? Again, you must listen first, apologize if you need to, acknowledge the fault, explain your action, and of course then thank the customer and do follow-up. Okay? So remember not to take it personally. You should remain calm, focus on the problem, not the person, and turn unhappy people to happy customers. So you need to address customers properly. All communication should be in the first person. So use I am sorry, not we. Don't make excuses or blame others in your organization. Give the customer your full attention and establish eye contact. Paraphrase their complaint in your own words to determine whether you have completely understood the situation. Okay? Now, if you don't know the answer to their problem, then be honest, no? Don't tell a lie. Call back when you say you will, even if for some reason you haven't been able to obtain a satisfactory answer by then. Okay, so for example, if you promise the customer that you're going to call in 5 minutes, then within 5 minutes, you were not able to really search for a right answer, no, to his question, but still call back, no, and then update your customer. Okay, and then make the customer part of the solution and not part of the problem. So don't be defensive. Again, this will make a negative impact, no, to them. So you should be apologetic. Then don't take criticism personally. And then offer an apology even if the service is not your fault. Then show empathy by using such phrases as, I can understand how you feel. I appreciate what you are saying. Tell them what you can do, not what you can't do. Okay? So find out what it will take to turn your dissatisfaction into satisfaction. So if they agree to that solution, act quickly before they change their mind. And then again, follow up. And remember, you can never win an argument with a customer. Because again, customer is always the customers and they bring profit or revenue to the business. That is why as much as possible, you wanted to satisfy them and retain them as your company's customer. Okay? So don't let those complaints be a hindrance and will make your customers go to your competitors. But again, take that complaint as an opportunity to impress them on how is your customer handling skills is, or show them, no, how you handle them, those concerns or complaints. Okay, so that ends our topic for today. Next meeting, we're going to discuss about telephone etiquette, which is actually again part of customer service skills, wherein there's three different modes, no? Face-to-face, telephone, and written communications. Okay, so if you have questions or clarifications, you may PM me directly or send to our class Bidal your concern so that we can address that question. Okay, so again, always remember that customer service is very important, especially if you are a frontliner or if part of your job is to entertain clients, talk to people who comes in the offices. So you must have an excellent customer service skills. And if there are complaints, you should have a good good handling skills, customer handling skills. So in other words, you should have an excellent problem solving skills that you will be able to resolve those concerns by your own. And of course, you must always satisfy your clients' expectations, their needs and wants in order to retain those customers. Because again, customers are always customers And of course, they give profit revenue to your respective companies or businesses. That is why they are very important in your company's business. Okay, so that ends our discussion today. So have a good day.